Good morning, everyone. District Attorney Heather Adams. On Tuesday afternoon, I was contacted by Krista Miller, who is our Chief Clerk of Elections, regarding potentially fraudulent voter registration applications that had recently been received by her office. At that time, she informed me that the Elections Office received approximately 2,500 applications at or near the deadline for registering to vote. While preparing to process these applications, staff noticed that numerous applications appeared to have the same handwriting, were filled out on the same day with unknown signatures, and some were previously registered voters, excuse me, and the signatures on file did not match the signatures on the application.
What you talking about, Willis?
Lancaster County detectives began investigating the voter registration applications and immediately found applications that were indeed fraudulent. Indicators of fraud included inaccuracies with the addresses listed on the applications, false personal identification information, as well as false names. A number of the applications also contained names that did not match the provided Social Security information. In some cases, applications contained correct personal identification information, such as the correct address, correct phone number, date of birth, driver's license number, and Social Security number. But the individuals listed on the applications informed detectives that they did not request the form, they did not complete the form, and verified that the signature on the form was not theirs. At this point, it is believed that the fraudulent voter registrations are connected to a large-scale canvassing operations for voter registrations that date back to June. However, the majority of the applications received are dated August 15th and after. Those canvassing for voter registrations were employed and paid to obtain voter registration applications. The majority of the applications were from residents in the city of Lancaster. However, applications were also received from residents in Columbia, Elizabethtown, Mountjoy, Akron, Ephrata, Stevens, Strasburg, as well as other locations across Lancaster County. The canvasses themselves took place at various shopping centers, parking lots of grocery stores and businesses, sidewalks, and parks. During this preliminary investigations, detectives were able to verify some of the applications were indeed legitimate. In these instances, the applicant verified that they did provide information to a canvasser. For these applications, we will immediately advise voter registration and that we confirm that they are legitimate requests, and voter registration will process that application.
Just days until the 2024 election, which will decide the next president of the United States, senators, congressmen, state representatives, ballot issues, state governors, as well as local officials. Just days before this, what will the mantra be after November 5th? No evidence of widespread fraud. Will that be the lie that they tell us? The Lancaster County District Attorney has told the public that there is a voter registration fraud campaign in her county just across the Susquehanna River, short distance from my home. Now, it's concentrated in the city of Lancaster, but it occurred throughout the county. In just one case, looking at 2,500 late voter registrations, not late as in arriving late, but later in the arrival process. They arrived on time, but 2,500 voter registrations turned in by one group. 60% of those registrations, 1,500, are fraudulent.
Thus far, of the investigations that we have completed, we have determined that 60% have been fraudulent. That is of the investigations that we've completed.
Now, this is just one of Pennsylvania's 67 counties. Now, the district attorney did state that she's aware of 2 other counties where this has occurred, but she didn't state which counties they were. This news days before the election and after mail-in ballots have been sent to Pennsylvania voters. But hey, no evidence of widespread fraud. Meanwhile, in the Pacific Northwest, federal authorities are investigating fires at 2 ballot boxes reported Monday morning in the Portland, Oregon area that destroyed hundreds of ballots at one location, as well as another fire that was reported earlier this month. Hundreds of ballots in Clark County in southwest Washington state and a handful in Multnomah County in Oregon were damaged or destroyed in 2 separate ballot box fires Monday morning that police believe are connected. If you live in Washington State, the first thing to do if you're a voter is check your ballot status online at votewa.gov. Now, if a returned ballot is not marked as received, voters can print a replacement ballot or visit the Elections Department located at 1408 Franklin Street in downtown Vancouver for a replacement ballot, the Secretary of State's office said. But doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of the so-called great idea of mail-in ballots? Now you have to go to Franklin Street in Vancouver to get your replacement ballot. What a brilliant concept this was by leftist hate wankers coming up with mail-in ballots. Now, evidence from the incendiary devices found at the ballot boxes on Monday show the fires are connected, as well as the third incident that was reported in Vancouver on October 8th, said Mike Brenner, a spokesman for the Portland Police Bureau. Many of the ballots in Portland were unaffected. Hundreds of ballots were destroyed in that Vancouver ballot box. Meanwhile, the Federal Bureau of Investigation is running a separate but parallel investigation. Oh, doesn't that just give me confidence? The Federal Bureau of Incompetence is on the scene. They're especially effective in the Pacific Northwest, not. According to the agency's Seattle office, they confirmed to CNN that they are working on the investigation. Washington State Governor Jay Inslee said in a statement Monday evening there will be 24-hour enhanced security around ballot drop-off locations. So now you're going to actually monitor these drop boxes. Folks, the stupidity and fraud encouraging concept of a drop box for voter ballots is the most important civic duty being turned upside down. It's ludicrous. Not only are unmonitored drop boxes meccas to encourage fraud and undermine legitimate voters, as we see now, they are also incredibly vulnerable to sabotage. Now, who saw that coming? Oh, yeah, me in 2020. I can't pick up medication without a photo ID from a pharmacy behind a barrier, but I can drop anything I like in some box that is part of selecting the leaders of our nation. This is embarrassing.
August 7th, 8:42 a.m. This is humiliating. What was wrong with diapers?
Police responded to a call about a fire in Portland at 3:30 in the morning on Monday. The Portland Police Bureau said in a statement an incendiary device was attached to the side of the box and security personnel extinguished the fire. Police had previously said the device was placed inside the box, but it really doesn't matter. Look at the damage. 3 ballots were damaged. 409 ballots were protected by fire suppressant inside the box, according to Multnomah County Elections Director Tim Scott. Actually, folks, that's encouraging, but it does not make drop boxes a good idea. The concept that we take the most sacred civic responsibility, and turn it into such a joke by having drop boxes. If somebody received a Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes mailer in the mail, you fill it out and send it back in, and you select your next president. It's embarrassing, it's ridiculous, and it undermines the concept of our constitutional republic and our elections, and they must be stopped. People should go to the polling station and cast their ballot. There's nothing wrong with it. People do it all over the world. Paper ballots, on time, election day, not election season. For those physically incapable of going to the polling station, those in care facilities, those in hospital, military personnel stationed outside their home, businessmen traveling, or those away on election day, there is an appropriate measure to take care of your needs. It's called the federal absentee ballot. And the nice thing about the federal absentee ballot, it attaches legal jeopardy. So should you be inclined to commit fraud, you will pay severely if found. 5-year federal conviction for mail fraud. But we don't want to have that. We want to have anybody just drop anything they want anytime. And you see the consequences of it. Now, some voters have likely been defrauded of their vote. And this is the week before the election. What's going to happen up to election day? Well, no evidence of widespread fraud. Doesn't matter. If one voter is cheated by one fraudulent voter voting or one ballot being destroyed unnecessarily, then the system is damaged and needs to be addressed. What say you? Cheers.